So how can you be on a first name basis with elite athletes like LeBron James and also A-list celebrities like Matthew McConaughey, Kevin Hart, and Joe Rogan? Well, here's how Tim Ferriss did it, and he left out a few key details that I want to share with you in this video. I put his strategy into two main categories. The first one is networking for the narrow and the long game. Now, he talks about his experience at South by Southwest in 2007 as being very transformational for him, where he made a lot of friends and built out a great network. Now, what he did is focus on creating deep relationships with a small number of people.
What many people do is they go to an event to collect business cards, and then they follow up with people with whom they have no common interests in the hopes of some type of transaction in the near term, the next few weeks, the next few months.
You need to build common ground with people that you're interested in meeting. Now, Tim recommends two things. One is nonprofit events where you can volunteer, and two is high-end events where there's a barrier to entry. In this case, he used South by Southwest as an example. Now, once he got into South by Southwest, Tim did the following. He basically went to moderated events where he was interested in the topics, and after the event, he did not go after the A-list speakers. They're probably flooded by fanboy requests. Instead, he went to the moderators that probably knew a lot of the people.
And I would be very, very humble to the extent I could and say, it's my first time at South by Southwest. I'm pretty nervous. I just wrote my first book. I don't know anybody. I'm not going to pretend to understand everything about tech. I don't. But I'm really interested in A, B, C, D, and E. And I'm originally from this part of the world, and these are some of my interests. Is there anyone you think I might enjoy meeting here?
And this was his main strategy of meeting people. And then once he got a group of people together, he'd buy them booze and then just ask them questions. And occasionally they would ask questions back, ask about his interests, his book, and other things like that. And if you noticed that somebody was really interested in his topics or what he was talking about, then he would follow up with that person after the conference. And that's how he basically built some of his deep relationships today. And at that event, Tim became close friends with people like Kevin Rose, who's a billionaire investor and entrepreneur, and a top influencer, another entrepreneur, Gary Vee. After the event, he continued to repeat the cycle and just continued to build those relationships with the amazing people that he met at the event. Now, what I think Tim Ferriss leaves out is the second part, is that you need to be valuable to others. Now, when nobody knew who Tim Ferriss was, his strategy was to volunteer at a nonprofit where eventually he'd be booking notable speakers. So in this particular case, he was donating his time when nobody knew who he was. Then shortly after that, he started his blog, which is currently tim.blog. And in this blog, he basically breaks down complex topics or complex goals and breaks it down into easy, digestible steps that anybody can do. To give you an example, two of his best articles are How I Gained 34 Pounds in 4 Weeks, and the other article is How to Speed Read. There's just a ton of value, and people began to take notice. And then shortly after that, he launched his book, The 4-Hour Workweek, which is basically a Bible for digital nomads and productivity nerds. And after that, he launched his popular podcast, The Tim Ferriss Show. So now when he invites A-list actors like Matthew McConaughey on his show, it's a privilege for some of these A-list actors to be on his show because, in this case, Matthew has been promoting his latest book, The Green Lights, and Tim Ferriss just provides a lot of free exposure to him. And he does this a lot with most of his guests, who are some of the most successful entrepreneurs and people that are top in their industry. On top of that, these top performers, they learn a lot from him because he asks very good questions and he has very well thought out processes. And lastly, as his network grew, he became a super connector. Just think about it. If you were good friends with Tim Ferriss and you needed help or advice, he can connect you with some of the top billionaires, New York Times bestselling authors, actors, comedians, and so on. And he started all of this from nothing just by volunteering at a local nonprofit in San Francisco. Now, to summarize the 2 steps. So one is play the narrow and the long game. So gain deep relationships with a small number of people and invest in those relationships with asking much in return. And 2, be valuable to others. When you're starting out and you don't know anybody, volunteer at a local nonprofit or other communities. Be a super connector without asking much in return, and gain skills and knowledge where people are going to be interested to talk to you and learn from you. Now, over the next couple of weeks and months, I'll be covering more communities, networks, and people are just really exciting and bringing a positive change to the world. So if you're interested to hear more, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. See ya. Have a good day.